Good morning, student. In our previous period, we completed up to compound sentence, and in compound sentence we completed up to example 2. So now we further moving on with example 3 of compound sentence. Compound sentence. So now, as we know that compound sentence must have 2 or more than 2 clauses joined by coordinate conjunction. So now in that example 3, you have to write down this with me. So start writing. You take this medicine, else you will not be cured. So in this sentence, we can see 2 parts. You take this medicine, you will not be cured. So these 2 parts are joined by coordinate conjunction. It's else. So it's a compound sentence. Then after, and in compound sentence, each clauses are independent clause. Then after, you can take it or leave it. So again in this sentence we can see you can take it, and the next clause, that is leave it. So these 2 parts are joined by coordinate conjunction, that is or, and each clause in this is independent clause. Then after, one more example in this. Let's walk faster, otherwise we shall miss the train. So in this, let's walk faster, second part is we shall miss the train, and these 2 parts are joined by coordinate conjunction, otherwise both the parts are independent clause. Now I hope that after completing this much example, now you clear with the concept of compound sentence. Now complex sentence. So complex sentence has 1 principal clause and 1 or more subordinate clause, and every part in complex sentence must have subject and finite verb. Now write down definition with me. A complex sentence has one principal clause. Principal clause, its main clause. So, main clause is a clause which expresses complete thought and make a sense by its own. A complex sentence has one principal clause, that is main clause, and one or more subordinate clause, that is dependent clause. So, subordinate clause dependent on main clause for their meaning. Now, write down examples of complex sentence of complex sentence. 1. He finds it difficult to make both ends meet, though he works very hard. So, as the definition of complex sentence, a complex sentence has one principal clause and one or more subordinate clause. Now, subordinate clauses are dependent on main clause for their meaning, and principal clause, that the main clause is independent clause. It having their own meaning, their own sense, and it expresses their own thought. So, now first example is, he finds it difficult to make both, in this it's a one, both ends meet, it's one part. Then after, he works very hard. Now these two parts we can see. The first part is, he finds it difficult to make both ends meet. And the second part, though he works very hard. So, though, it's a subordinate clause, that subordinate conjunction. With the help of though, these two parts are joined. Then after, example 2, I couldn't go to school yesterday because I was ill. So in this sentence, I couldn't go to school yesterday because I was ill. So we can see that the second part is dependent on the main part, that main clause. In this sentence we find two sentences, two parts. I couldn't go to school yesterday, I was ill, and these two parts are joined by subordinate conjunction, that is because. Then after 3, I will beat you if you talk like that. So in this, I will beat you if you talk like that. So here we see two parts, I will beat you, and the second one, you talk like that. These two parts joined by subordinate conjunction if. Then 4, I can't tell you where he lives. So I can't tell you where he lives in this subordinate conjunction where join these two parts. Then after students, you have to write down this with me. So continue with your writing work. 5. He is the boy who stole my pen. So in this, he is the boy, subordinate conjunction who, and the second that part is stole my pen. So from these examples, now I hope that you all are clear that in complex sentence has one principal clause and one or more subordinate clause. Now we are going to start exercise portion of this chapter. So now start writing with me exercise portion. Exercise A. Answer the following questions. Answer the following questions. 1. Define and give 2 examples. Each of. So now in this we have to write down definition and 2 examples of each of the following. A simple sentence. A simple sentence a simple sentence is a one clause sentence containing one subject and one predicate. So, a simple sentence is a one clause sentence containing one subject and one predicate with only one finite verb. Finite verb. Now we have to write down 2 examples. So now examples. First one, we respect an honest man. We respect an honest man. Then after, father has gone out for his morning walk. So, a simple sentence is a one clause sentence containing one subject and one predicate. Predicate, that is a verb with only one finite verb. And examples: we respect an honest man. Father has gone out for his morning walk. Now then after B, a compound sentence. So now we have to write down definition of compound sentence. A compound sentence must have two or more than two clauses joined by coordinate conjunction conjunctions. Now examples: one, Rima wanted to play, but I decided to do my homework. Then after two, Karan was tired and wanted to take rest. Now then after C, a complex sentence answer a complex sentence has one principal clause. It's a main clause and one or more subordinate clauses, that is dependent clause, now examples of complex sentence. One, I will beat you if you talk like that. Then after second example, I can't tell you where he lives. So, student, in this period up to this much. Now further exercise portion will be continued in the next period. Thank you. Goodbye.